Can I do aquaponics without fish? I don't know. Can you? Let's have a look. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm putting videos up every couple of days, so make sure that you hit subscribe so you can get all of them. Aquaponics without fish. We need to identify, are you talking about always without fish or just the period where you're cycling your aquaponics system? Because the whole concept of aquaponics is that it is an ecosystem and you have fish providing waste that the vegetables then use as their fertiliser, and the vegetables filter the water for the fish. That is how aquaponics works. If you're cycling your system, so you're getting it ready and colonising it with bacteria for the fish, well then yes, that's what we call fishless cycling and fishless aquaponics for that period of time. But that just means that you're colonising it with bacteria, knowing that your water quality is going to fluctuate and probably kill your fish if you got them in there. So we always recommend cycling without fish. So fishless cycling, also known as fishless aquaponics. But you're getting it ready to put fish in there. Sorry to interrupt. Look, to really boost your aquaponics learning, jump on over to my website for some free online training, and it's really structured and it's going to help you get a really good grasp of how this works rather than trying to pick it bits and pieces everywhere. Let's get the foundations happening, okay? So some free online training at www.theaquaponicslady.com. Jump on over and get your free training. Now, if on the other hand, you're talking about aquaponics with no fish at all ever, well, that's really just hydroponics. You can use it could be with any type of fertilizer that you're wanting to use, but if you don't have those fish swimming around, then that's not aquaponics. Aquaponics is having the fish swimming in there, whether it's in a pond, whether it's inside, whether it's in a big system, small system, fish tank, big fish tank, bloody big fish tank. If you've got fish in there, it is aquaponics. If you don't have fish in there and you're not planning to put fish in there, then that is a form of hydroponics. And that's where we think about the difference between aquaponics and hydroponics. Aquaponics is a living ecosystem. We're replicating nature, putting it into a smaller space, sustainably and ethically. We are not overcrowding our fish, but we are replicating nature and creating an ecosystem. It works naturally together. So my fish are producing ammonia. The ammonia is converted by bacteria, two types of bacteria, Nitrosamona and Nitrobacter. It converts the ammonia into nitrite and then nitrate, and it's the nitrate that our veggies will use, and that while they're using it, they're filtering the water for the fish, and the cycle continues. That is why it is an ecosystem. There are lots of components in play, and it is a natural thing that we're doing. We're not constantly putting in additional nutrients. We do need to add iron chelate or chelated iron. You can add everything else from worm juice. We do need often to boost our pH a little bit. You can do that with calcium carbonate, so eggshells, different types of shells. You know, we can do all of this stuff naturally in the ecosystem. When you're looking at not having fish, you're very much looking at some form of hydroponics, which is water gardening or working with water, and it does not involve fish. We do not want to be putting any form of hydroponic nutrients, which is all synthetic nutrients and very highly concentrated. You do not want to put any of that into your aquaponic system. It is highly concentrated, and if you put that into your aquaponic system, you're going to get water quality issues and probably kill your fish. People do it, they wonder why they have issues. Don't do it. Not if you're wanting to have aquaponics and keep your fish healthy, safe, and everything working. You're wasting your money if you're doing both together. But if you're adding hydroponic nutrients into an aquaponic system, then that means that you don't have enough fish, and you're using an expensive synthetic nutrient to try to boost things up. Learn how to balance your system, and this is why I always say start small. Don't start with a system this big. Now this is still a fairly small to medium system. If you ask me, that's kind of a small system still, but I've been in aquaponics for more than 15 years and I've studied aquaculture, so I'm used to bigger things, okay? I suggest that people start small. So start with the likes of a small little barrel system. Like, let's turn you briefly around. Small little barrel system. That's 2 barrels. One is the fish tank, one is cut up as the grow bed. We've got both of the types of mechanical and biological filtration happening. We have a small little ecosystem happening, and we have our food growing being powered by goldfish. A great way of getting yourself started and understanding how the ecosystem works, how it flows, then go bigger. If you jump straight into a bigger system with food fish and you're going, yep, within 6 months I'm going to be able to harvest my own food, I'll harvest my own fish and eat them, and I'm going to be growing all of my own veggies, and you know nothing about aquaponics, I promise you, you will have major issues. You have to understand water quality, how it works, you have to understand fish health, and if you're relying as that being your food security permanently, you're putting an awful lot of pressure on yourself when you don't know how it all works. Starting off with a small little system gets really how to feel the flow of it. You get used to how it all works, how the flow is actually working, how the ecosystem works, how your water quality works, and you're doing it with goldfish that cost $1 each. Now, I don't like my goldfish dying, but I would much prefer a goldfish to die than my food fish that are worth an awful lot more. And by starting small, that means that you don't have the pressure of losing your whole food security. And I've seen it happen, it's heartbreaking, and it costs a fortune. So start small, get used to the ecosystem and how it flows, and you'll find that aquaponics is one of the best ways of growing your veggies in any environment, when you're renting in any space, big or small. And you can start by being small, going a little bit bigger, and then a little bit bigger again. You can expand on a small little barrel system, you can expand on a big system, on a system like this. You can always expand, but it is so much harder to go from bigger to smaller. You can always go from small to big. So remember, aquaponics is a living ecosystem that we're looking after and that we're maintaining. Hydroponics, on the other hand, is a synthetic, artificial system. Nothing living. You're growing your veggies. It's not really that sustainable because the waste from all of those synthetic nutrients has to go in the bin. It can't be recycled or reused. We're not losing water from our aquaponic system into the bin or anything like that. We have to top up water for evaporation and what the plants use. Aside from that, it is a lovely closed loop system that we grow our food in. How cool. So, fishless aquaponics is actually just hydroponics. Not a fan, but hey, it works for some people and that's what they want to use, and that's fine. But aquaponics is the living ecosystem that can grow you lots of food.